This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Catch the sun power.
This is the 6 p.m. Barbados Today update for Tuesday, May 20th, 2014. I'm Kamar Jordan. Good evening. In the news at this hour, as Labour Minister Dr. Esther Basuku makes another attempt to avert industrial action at the National Conservation Commission, one outspoken trade unionist is pouring cold water on the process. In fact, Caswell Franklin, who heads up the Unity Workers Union, believes it's simply a case of shadow boxing that will amount to nothing. He was particularly hard on the trade unions for their handling of the recent layoffs at the NCC, suggesting they should have been much more militant.
The unions in Barbados have proven to be an embarrassment to trade unions anywhere. And it's about time the workers take back their unions from the people who are taking them over and using them for purposes other than the best interests of its members, you know. It's appalling what is happening.
Meantime, all is said to not be well at the state-run Queen Elizabeth Hospital. This assertion today from the opposition's shadow spokesman on health, Dr. Jerome Walcott, who has taken issue with recent pronouncements by the Health Minister John Boyce that there's no shortage of drugs at the QEH. However, Walcott, who is a medical doctor by training, says there's no denying there's a shortage of drugs among a litany of woes at the QEH.
Every single doctor and nurse at that institution knows that is not true. The minister is free to make any idle boast, but it is altogether in a different realm to be trifling daily with the lives of Barbadians, some of whom are surviving by luck, and some on their deathbeds because of equipment breakdowns, insufficient funding, and an absence of necessary drugs and supplies for medical staff to properly do their jobs of saving lives. This has to stop before catastrophe becomes the norm.
Insisting that enough is enough and that he's not engaging in any cheap politics, Walcott went on to raise a number of questions, which he says the hospital administration needs to answer surrounding the operations of the dialysis unit, the sterilization unit, the Lions Eye Care Center, the recently opened cardiac suites, the accident and emergency department, and the obstetrics theaters.
Question number 1. Does the QEH management deny that on Monday the 14th of April 2014, during a cesarean section, there was a power outage in one of the obstetrics theaters of roughly 15 minutes duration, during which time the attending staff were forced to use torch lights and cell phone lights to continue the procedure? Question number 2. Is it also true that this same patient developed a seizure with a slow pulse on the operating table and had to have manually assisted ventilation until the power returned? Question number 3. Can the management of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital explain how this could have occurred after spending more than $20 million on an electrical upgrade at that institution?
On to more positive news now. Barbados was in full bloom at the Chelsea Flower Show in London, capturing gold medal number 16 at the premier event. The victorious team caught the top prize with a kaleidoscope of color, which featured a range of flowers including MacArthur palms, heliconias, anthuriums, ginger lilies, and orchids. The exotic display tells the story of the sailor's Valentine, which dates back to the 1800s, when Barbados was a major attraction for British sailors in search of fun.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
To our Caribbean neighbors now, tragedy in Jamaica as heavy rains pound Montego Bay. Police have recovered the bodies of 9-year-old twin brothers on a beach after they were swept away by floodwaters. According to media reports, Brandon and Braden Jones were on their way home from school when one reportedly climbed onto a rail and then fell off into a gully. His brother, who reportedly tried to help, also ended up in the gully. The boy's mother, who works in the Cayman Islands, returned home this morning. On the international scene, continuing turmoil in Nigeria, 2 bomb blasts killed at least 46 people in the central city of Jos. The first blast was in a busy market and the second went off outside a nearby hospital. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but in recent times there have been several deadly clashes between Christians and Muslims. The militant Islamist group Boko Haram has also carried out a spate of recent bombings. Most of the victims from the 2 incidents were women. Well, that's our 6 p.m. update. You can join us again at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. Subscribe to our e-paper or like us on Facebook to get more news and sports. I'm Kamar Jordan. Have a great evening and join us first thing tomorrow morning.
This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun